Hey guys, what is going on? Looking at Ropz today and how it's the B side of Train. One a couple of you requested in my last video, and of course continuing with this line of CT videos I really like to make. Now Ropz has a lot of different ways of playing it. We're going to start off with how he counters a rush or playing nice and close up in the sight, really going for these kills. And one thing you notice throughout this whole video is Ropz really focuses on staying alive and not overcommitting to many fights. So first thing he often does if he wants to play close is throw this smoke. And I'll talk about that more in a second, but it does deny a lot of information from the T side, make them very wary of where the CT player could be. Notice right now he hears the footsteps because he's nice and close, so straight away he just adjusts with a nade. That's going to be good utility damage, or just finding himself a position on the side. And this is one he likes to play in the middle of the bomb site, where you can control the fight, whether you want to fight anyone coming out ramp or fighting out anyone coming out upper, and you can really isolate the fights in different scenarios. One thing I also love about this clip is the fact that Ropz doesn't overcommit. He falls back away even with the 5v3, and it's a common theme as well you're going to see throughout this video, is Ropz really prioritizes staying alive and winning the round rather than saying I have to stop the bomb going down. And that's something I really like about how he plays this, and something that I actually disagree with a lot of B players. They like to really fight these angles when they don't always play to your advantage. That's that one. Very simple. If you hear them rushing upper, just throw a nade or a molly upper, reposition somewhere middle of the site, back of the site. I'm going to show you more positions he likes to play. Just a particular example, middle of the site's where he ended up. The other thing you'll notice about if Ropz plays up nice and close is he does throw a smoke again as per usual, but he always plays anti-flash, waiting for a flash like the one you're seeing in the top right corner come in, and then they decide to rush ramp rather than upper. He's just going to kill you to come through the smoke. It's very hard to flash that angle if you do avoid that first flash, which Ropz is very conscious about. So rush either way, you're pretty well covered. You're going to deal a lot of nade damage, or you're just going to kill them running through a smoke. So rushes are actually quite simple to defend on the B side of Train. Now, what is the point of this smoke being thrown further up the ramp as opposed to just at the bottom of it? We can make plays around it. It has to make the T side very wary that they're not walking into some kind of AWPer potentially setting up, or you can just make a play such as Ropz is. This isn't very common. This is the only one I saw throughout the multiple games I watched, so it is a risky play. Plays like Olofmeister, if you remember a video I made a couple of videos ago, I like to play a little bit more, but you see the play it allows him to make, and also you can see players such as Rain, they're very cautious of this smoke. It does slow them down a lot, and they basically have to wait it out, so it does deny a lot of info because they could just walk around into a player posted onto their angles. So that's it. Pretty basic stuff, but that's the point of the smoke being thrown further up the ramp rather than down. It just denies more information simply from the T side. So let's move along now to what happens if Ropz is just playing solo against a normal buy. He's not going for any pushes against him instantaneously. Obviously, calling in rotations, that second player, is something that's very important, getting information. So if you listen, there's a lot of utility being thrown, particularly by Rain, and most of FaZe in this scenario. So just going to hold this angle, obviously trusting or making a calculated guess. They're not just going to walk up upper for no reason in the first few seconds of the round. Obviously, you're going to hear them as well if they decide to run past there before switching this part of the map. Notice because of the sound they've made, because of the utility being thrown, he's straight away calling Oscar over here. And this is a solid two-man setup right now. Is one player holding upper, and Ropz can then move himself over here, which is a very strong angle to obviously kill the players as soon as they come down ramp, and then you can back away and obviously play a retake position. And notice straight away he repositions there because the smoke comes off, cutting up Oscar's line of sight. So he's back to the middle of the site, a spot Ropz obviously really likes to play, as we've already seen, because you can jiggle between those two angles. We're going to see something really interesting right now. So number one, obviously, he's very worried about upper as he knows the smoke's come out, likely players are coming out there. And he gets his first two kills. So obviously that's good as well. Obviously Oscar's able to peek with him here, taking the contact as well. So notice they're both focusing one side and avoiding this push coming in from the opposition. Another thing you notice as well is Ropz thinks, okay, we'll shut down this side. We don't want the push coming up the other side. So right now he sees no one. So he's straight away checking, is anyone pushed up this closer wall side, because obviously players such as Snacks is smoked off. So you can see really Ropz's concern right now is really locking the T side in to this front half of the B side. He doesn't care about anyone. If anyone gets past him, that's when stuff starts to get concerning. And we can see this is a common theme whenever Ropz holds this site. This top bomb train one is a little bit more aggressive. You can see upper, and obviously if you crouch, it's very hard for any players coming out ramp to see you. You can see once the execute comes in from north in a second, he's just going to Molotov off one of the lanes. They can't get aggressive there, obviously. Before just jiggling everything, trying to get information. Where are these guys pushing? And you can see North understand. We need to get aggressive here. Keravi's trying to get aggressive. Kills the second player in Mertz coming out. Before, again, his crosshairs trained, making sure no one can push past him. MSL understands I need to push to have any chance into this round. But Ropz has done his job. His teammates have had time to rotate in. 4v2, and you already know Mousesports are winning this one. I think to really bang home my point about the importance of Ropz staying alive and how his importance is really just stopping these players getting aggressive, is we see how FaZe end up actually winning this round against Ropz. I'm going to fast forward a little bit, but they're going to kill him relatively fast. And because he goes down almost instantly, they're going to allow him Allow the FaZe clan to be confident to pull out their nades, pull out the smokes they want to throw, such as Nico here, smoking a Molotov. If Ropz is alive at the back of the train or alive somewhere, it makes it very difficult for them to just pull out all this extra utility, get themselves aggressive. And you can see, because of the pushed up positions they have, it's going to be a very, very difficult retake for Mousesports. This answers the question answered in my last video in the comments. This is how you hold the B site and make it so the team can't really retake it. And you can see Chris J and Oscar are going to say, fellas, we have 2 AWPs. We're just going to save here. And that's really how you win it. Get aggressive, get these players supporting from upper or lower, where they can just kind of like overlook the situation, get some information, you play off their information, play off each other. And that's how you win on the T side, is if that CT player in Ropz doesn't hold, doesn't stay alive for long enough, allows you to use your utility, get aggressive. And that's why it is so incredibly important for Ropz to stay alive. So we're going to continue looking at how he does that and prevents these pushes from the T side. So believe it or not, what you've seen so far has been the more aggressive holds from Ropz. He's been up close around that bomb train, playing those angles where he can fight the players coming up ramp. You might be thinking, what are you on about, Elmer? He's right on top of the bomb train right now. But notice as his teammates start to go down, he actually falls back into this position here, where he's obviously a faster rotate to Z connector or CT, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. This is a great spotting angle, always jiggling, making himself hard to peek, or hard to peek onto and get this shot off. But all he's doing is just getting information. You can see anyone coming upper, anyone coming in lower. All he has to do is hit his jump key, and he's off there relatively safe. So as this take comes in, notice what he does right now is he Molotovs upper because he doesn't want anyone pushing too far before just swinging out and winning these fights. And this is a little bit more of a ballsy one, if you want to put it that way, because he is in a man disadvantage. He feels like he needs to win these. You can see how he's spotting those positions, and those players are trying to get aggressive up the B side, because again, they know they have to, and Ropz just denies them simply by Molotoving upper, obviously just because it's easier to aim on the same level for him rather than flicking up and down if it's hard to rush one on the floor, one on the top. And that's really the thought process behind that. We're going to see a lot of different ways Ropz plays from this back train. This nade here is not a bad one if you think people are setting up for some kind of B execute. Ropz doesn't throw it in this scenario because obviously the pressure comes in towards A. You're going to see him once again falling back to this train, just spotting. And his Molotov this time is going to be between, obviously, crossing from ramp to the bomb train. So again, you're doing more damage. You're denying some pathways for the T sides. A little bit late on this one, but you can see as the North, they start streaming in here towards the B site. He's going to use his util, use his flash to take these fights. And again, try and contain them from getting too aggressive and allowing his teammates to rotate in. Obviously, the man advantage plays a part in this while it is so unsuccessful in the end. But flashes to allow him to cross. This is quite common as well. You can see he's just clearing out all these laneways. Like say Kirby, making sure he is not in a position to do much before actually following up with a nade, which is going to do good damage onto the planet in Valdi. Unfortunately for him, his teammates were not in a good position to actually rotate. So maybe an oversight overall from Mousesports, because no one was actually close enough to even get in with Ropz staying alive for a relatively long amount of time. But you can see again, the Molotov going in, the nade, he's keeping his utility in this scenario, all ready for the retake. Doesn't go their way, but he's still holding on to it. And hopefully you guys can understand the concept behind that. Now this isn't a hard and fast rule, but often when Ropz does fall this more passive setup, it's because the AWPer support that we saw in those first few clips when he was playing around the bomb train, how Oscar normally rotated in, isn't always there. So in this scenario it's going to be nothing rotating, so obviously Oscar wasn't at Belo Horizonte, but yeah, he's going to play up here more aggressive again. Having this support from nothing gives him the confidence, but as soon as nothing decides, I need to fall off this or I need to play somewhere else on the map, notice how nothing right now has fallen all the way onto the bomb train, so no one is close by for Ropz to help out. The closest player is nothing in the middle of the bomb train. That is by no means a quick rotation, especially for trains. So you see Ropz start to back off now towards these more passive holds. Choose oil train this scenario, obviously an alternative to the angle we saw before. And it's actually the angle he got punished at earlier by SK, but he gets that first kill, anyone trying to get aggressive around the bomb train before again using his utility and really staying alive. And you can see SK, they haven't really got any of advanced positions. They're all stuck here. Fallen's going to just be holding angles. Cold Zero's will holding upper. And Ropz does a great job here of just getting information. You see he's spotting all these ladders right now, seeing is anyone getting aggressive, because often players will try and jiggle their head up and down, get information for maybe their AWPer and Fallen to work out where he needs to pick. But overall, Ropz does a pretty good job on this one. Again, I'm not backing myself up too well, but actually going to lose this retake in the end because Cold Zero and Fallen do Cold Zero and Fallen things. Obviously as well, Molotovs coming in after plant is one of the biggest things about this map. So Cold Zero is going to end up basically mopping up this one. The Molotov has time to come in, including the nade, and yeah, the retake's a little bit slow, but you can still, again, understand what Ropz was doing and why he was falling away when nothing was moved off the A site. So again, a poor read by Mousesports overall, thinking it was going to be some kind of A hit, but that's why Ropz normally falls back. Does sometimes fall back earlier in the round as well, but that's just a general rule of when you should play more passive, because obviously those earlier setups we saw work very well when the AWPer is supporting you one way or the other, and you can communicate if the AWPer is watching upper or lower, or what exactly he's got eyes on. And finally, the most interesting thing about being the B player is being able to flank SL or pop dog. Also, another good thing you can do here is obviously get your teammate just to flash the ramp, have a peek if there's anyone maybe lining up smoke, get some information that way. We're going to see when Ropz decides to rotate, and there's no randomness involved. It's not like, oh, I think maybe now I'll flank. He gets information fed from his teammates, obviously reads his radar as well. So you can see in this scenario here, Sunny and Chris J have a very aggressive setup in this A main area, and Ropz is not going to move until there's good confirmation that there's many players hitting this A site. So right now, see Chris J is going to get pressured, Sunny obviously going down, and Ropz isn't moving yet, he's waiting. As soon as Chris J spots the bomb, that's when Ropz is moving. He's going for his flank right now. Not a second earlier, he waits for a lot of information to come in, and this is basically how it rolls. It's very rare that he does it randomly, except for maybe on a force buy. You're going to find MSL who is low on HP, and you can see the thought process is pretty consistent throughout. Even when Snacks and these outside players are being pressured, he's still not pushing straight away. He's getting in a position now that they're being pressured a lot more, but this is when he decides to move. He's waiting for information to be read from his teammates, seeing exactly what's going on, and that's when he decides to push. So these are small things you need to consider when flanking. Obviously, some players just like to flank because they think maybe I better ace them or something strange. Another thing I love about this scenario is Ropz does just kill Crims and he just goes quiet. It's no re-peeking, no over-aggression, and he just repositions actually fully to key con. I actually love the play Flusher makes as well. He says, okay, maybe there's someone back here. Maybe Ropz fell away from SL, runs back around and now comes through con to keep things interesting. So Flush actually does a good job of maybe catching Ropz off guard. Ropz goes the other way, so I like what both players did, reposition, making things very difficult. And in the end, you're going to see how this one plays out. But as per usual, guys, thank you all for watching. I love all your feedback, all your comments. And of course, make sure to like and subscribe if you do enjoy this kind of content. I'll catch you all later.